The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, welcome to the Ring and All Out Sports. My name is Leo Connors. I'm your host, and today we have a very special guest. I have pro wrestling referee Kevin Quinn. Kevin.
How you doing, Leo?
Good. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Before we get going, I got a text a little while ago from a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Friend of yours, Derek. Derek Dukes, what's up, buddy? I'm glad you're watching, and we got to get you on soon, Derek. We'll get you on through Skype. Look at the list of guests and pick one that you want to come on with, and let us know. Want to give a shout out to my buddies in Gar Stars and Scoundrel Cigar Groups. What's up, guys? How you doing? Taylor, Sam, the Cigar Man. I'm trying to think. There's Jeff, and I'm sorry, guys, but hi to everybody. How's that?
What's up, Derek?
Yeah, see? Love you, Derek. All right, Kevin, I like to start it off with just something simple, little background about yourself.
Sure.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in a little city about 12 miles north of Boston called Woburn.
Oh, yep.
I grew up there all my life until I got married, and then I moved out to Norton, Mass.
Yep.
And then when that didn't work out, I moved back to Woburn. I ended up moving to Florida for a year, and back to Woburn, and that's where I am now.
Nice, nice. Well, when growing up, did you play sports as a kid?
I did. I played football, baseball. I was big into bowling, real big into bowling. Actually, bowling was the path that I was taking.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up in it. My father ran bowling alleys all my life.
Big balls?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So I was pretty much born into it.
Right.
I've been bowling since I was probably 4. Yeah, maybe 5. I went to the, they called it the youth games.
Yep.
I'm kind of like the Junior Olympics. I went there 3 years in a row. Won a gold, a silver, and a bronze.
Wow,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and bowling.
So you must get the curve and everything?
Oh, yeah. Bowling was where it was
awesome.
at. Yeah, I did it every weekend. I was always with my dad. And, yeah, that's...
You don't bowl at all anymore? Wrestling takes up all your time, huh?
Pretty
Training
much,
and all that?
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty much.
That's pretty neat, though. I never met a bowler before.
It's
A guy that was good enough possibly to be a professional down the line.
I think I could have been.
No doubt. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So, like you said, did you play in high school? Did you play football and stuff too, or did you stop at
actually,
15?
No, yeah, probably a little younger than that. I had an injury, and my parents, the consent form and stuff.
Right.
And then I went into the military right from 10th grade. So I finished my education in the military. Did that. That kind of helped me out, straighten things out, put me down the right path. And yeah.
Were you in the Army, Marines?
Yeah, Army.
Army?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Very good. Where'd you go to? Where were you? What are they called when you? Basic
Yeah,
training.
Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Oh, cool.
Sand Trap, USA.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what. Now 4 years you went in?
I was in for 6.
6.
Yep.
Nice. Very good.
And then I was in
Thank you
reserves
for
for
your
a
service.
remote. Thank you.
Definitely. So were you a fan of pro wrestling all your life? Well, actually, I should say, when did you discover pro wrestling? Just saying, I was 7 years old.
Ever since I can remember.
Really?
Ever since I can remember.
Nice.
I mean, I've watched every WrestleMania. I'm showing my age, but
That's all right.
I've watched
I'm
every
still older
wrestling.
than you.
That's not very often that
Right.
happens, Yeah. So I've watched every WrestleMania, and I've been a huge wrestling fan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Me too. Obviously, right?
Right.
That's why we're both here, because
Right,
we're huge
right.
wrestling fans. Growing up, obviously when we were little, we all loved the baby faces and
Yep.
stuff, you know what I mean? But who were some of your favorite wrestlers? And maybe how old were you when you started liking some heels? Or if you ever liked
Oh
the
my
heels?
goodness, I couldn't tell you. But I was always, a Hulk Hogan
Right,
fan.
right.
Roddy Piper, Snooker. I
Yeah.
still remember the day with him hitting Snooker with the coconut.
That was
I mean,
amazing.
it was like it was yesterday.
Yep.
I was an Orndorff fan. I was a huge Lex Luger fan. Then, the Wolfpack, NWO. I mean, the Attitude. I mean, I liked everything.
Right.
I didn't really, you know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
more a fan. I liked everything.
I just found out something about, real quick. I like Chief Jay Strong. He was the first wrestler I ever saw. And I tell people that, if he was in the ring already wrestling, I don't even know if I would have continued to watch wrestling. I happened to see him come into the ring with the big headdress, so it drew me to it. But I've just been finding out recently that he wasn't a very nice guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard that, but
Yeah.
they're saying Chief Jay was kind of a jerk. I know he's passed away, and I definitely don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it just a little bums me out a little because he was the main reason why I liked wrestling at 1st. You know?
Right, absolutely. I remember he used to fire up, do his dance.
With his little war dance and all that. I love that stuff.
I mean, I go as far back as Mr. Fuji and Tanaka.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
Oh,
Tony Guerrero and who's Dean Ho?
Dean Ho, yeah,
Right?
1972.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we were watching it at the same time.
Yeah.
Dean Ho was great. I don't know if you know Jeff Costa from Nashua.
I do.
Well, Jeff, he worked with Dean Ho quite a bit up in Vancouver.
Oh, really?
For Al Tomko.
Okay.
Oh, you can go on YouTube and punch in Bruiser Costa versus Dean Ho. All kinds of matches. come out.
Interesting.
You know what to do? I'll tell you guys this too. If you know Jeff Costa, go on YouTube, punch in Bruiser Costa Christmas.
Okay.
And he comes out or Santa Claus. He comes out dressed as Santa with all these gifts in his big sack, and he gives all these gifts to wrestlers. You'll be laughing your butt off.
Yeah.
I won't swear. It was unbelievable.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. When did you decide you wanted to be involved in pro wrestling?
Well, it's funny. It all happened probably, sometimes I don't remember.
That's all right.
you
Use
know,
'em.
Probably 2006, 2007, I met a guy in my gym during my workout, and his name was Jason Rumble. And I just happened to talk to him a little bit. We hit it off. We ended up working in with the machine, with an exercise with each other. That's how I actually met him. And then after a couple of workouts, a couple times meeting him, he's like, "Hey, you a wrestling fan?" And I said, "Oh, huge wrestling fan." He goes, "Yeah, come with me." Opened up the garage door as I knew as the leg room, and there's a big wrestling ring in there. So I got in there, walked around or whatever. And he told me about an independent show, NECW, that ran in Quincy at the Quincy Armory every month. And I'm like, interesting. I have a son. He's 17 now, but back then he was, I don't know, 8 or 9 or whatever.
Right.
So we used to go every month, and it was awesome. And it got to the point where I started to be such a regular, and I was a little bigger back then. I was a bodybuilder, that I used to have pose downs every month with, I don't know if you remember, the Natural Scott Osborne.
Oh, yeah.
And the Real Deal Brandon Locke.
Yep.
So they used to get it to the point where I had certain seats, and they'd tell me, like, they're coming out. So I'd actually go over, do push-ups and whatever, and Osborne would come out, and I'd give him this, and he'd look at me, and then Brandon Locke would walk by me, and he's like, ah. And it just got to be, it was really cool, and it was fun for my son.
Right.
At intermission, he was a huge, huge Max Power fan. The Mohawk Enforcer, I believe they called him back then. And he used to come out every time at intermission, put the belt on my son, take a picture, and just treated him. My son still talks about him today, So that was how that's how I got started as a fan.
Right.
And from there, I went to shows, and I ended up going to a few different places, and I ended up going to APW up in Newbury as a fan.
Right.
As a fan. And again, I was a little bit bigger. And they were talking to me. Again, I was a regular every month at these shows. Me and my son would, just like the workers, show up every month. Right. And they asked me to do some security, to the point where they gave me my own security company named Steele Security. So my name was Kevin Steele. I had a security company. So I did that for a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how long. And then from there was a street fight coming up at the next show between Big Woody and Joe Moakley, a Newbury street fight. And they asked me if I wanted to ref it. I said, "Ref it? I've never reffed." He goes, "It's a street fight. All you have to do is, count the winner."
Right.
I'm like, "All right, I can do that." So I literally had on gym pants. They gave me a ref shirt, and I went in there. And one of the spots that I'll never forget about is Big Woody had a trash can like this. And there's a picture on my Facebook of me putting my hands up like, "You can't do that." And I can't say the words that he said to me because we'll get thrown off the air. But I learned then that you get out of the way. So I did that. And I ended up working for them. They gave me my start. I ended up working for them for a long time, probably a couple of years. Yeah, and then I ended up venturing out to other places. And, that's where it all started. APW, they gave me my start. And
Nice.
I'll throw out a big thank you to them for that,
I heard their show. I haven't been up there yet. Woody's invited me. I just haven't made it up. It's so hard. Like, I have a special needs stepdaughter, too.
Okay.
And it's very hard to get to every show you want to go. Sundays are always the easiest days for me to go. That's why I go to a lot of Beyond shows.
Sure.
Because they have them on Sunday afternoons. Before we go on, though,
Sure.
you brought his name up. we got to say something. Congratulations to Brandon Locke.
Yes.
Right?
You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
Why don't you talk to him?
Me to
Tell
it.
him, man.
Actually,
Congrats.
Brandon Locke is actually, as a fan, he was probably my favorite wrestler.
Really?
Yes, as all the independent shows that I want. And you know what? Between us, I'm not sure if they can hear us right now, but he's probably still one of my favorites. But my all-time favorite to work with right now, all I'll tell you is it'd probably take a miracle for me to get to tell you that.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Well, I'm just,
Yeah, well, hopefully. I heard that his significant other might be talking with the WWE right now.
Well, I'll tell you what.
That would be pretty cool.
They're both class acts, and wherever they end up, the company that has them is lucky. You know, they're really lucky.
I have a friend that's a referee down in Jersey. I don't know if you know Sean Wiggins, Hanson, Ref Hanson. He's good.
Yeah.
He's good friends with those guys.
I know Hanson,
And,
not very well, but I know him
he's
because
one of my best friends.
I went down and worked for not CZW,
Fat Frank, Jersey All Pro.
NWA on Fire, I think it
Oh,
was
okay,
back
yeah,
then.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think I might be wrong on that, but anyway, I got to meet him, and that's where I went and met Danny Moff. And I met a few other people. Yeah, and that's the one thing. We'll get into that. Is I've met a lot of guys, and I've been a very, very fortunate ref.
Right.
You know, very fortunate.
Well, we're definitely going to get into who you've had, who you've been in the ring with.
Sure.
Because I know you've been in the ring with a lot of great guys. So I just had to bring that up, though.
Sure.
Because, Hanson, I love you, kid. Okay, so do you remember the first match? Was that what you just said? The first match was Big Woody and Joe Mo?
That was my first match. Yeah.
Now, what was the
first
next
match.
company you worked for?
I went from there, and I believe I went to NCW down in Norwood with JC, I believe, and I worked for him for quite a while. Him and APW, that's where I pretty much
For the first
cut
couple
my
of years?
teeth. Yeah,
Nice.
and then I ended up doing a Beyond taping at Brian Fury's New England Pro Wrestling Academy, which is coincidentally where I train now.
Right.
And that's how kind of the ball got rolling, if you will. Yeah.
And you work for Chaotic also, too, now, right? No?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
was
yeah.
gonna say, I thought you did.
I'm a mainstay at Chaotic. It's me and Tony Stevens as the senior ref. I'm there every show they have. I'm on it. Luckily. And the funny thing is I used to sit in the front row at Chaotic, and I used to look at Brian Fury and Sean Gorman every show, and I was a little bit of a heckler, if you will.
you?
Yeah, I was pretty good at it. You guys probably know that. And it's funny now to sit down and to have these conversations with Brian Fury. It's like I never in a million years thought I'd be in a Chaotic wrestling ring. Let's be honest, okay?
Right.
And I never in a million years thought I'd be reffing at Cole Fury, their biggest show of the year. I'm on my third. This past Cole Fury was my third Cole Fury.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, anything can happen in wrestling, and that is the truest statement ever. Anything can happen.
Brian's a great guy, too.
Absolutely.
I have a picture of me and him when he first started wrestling. Doesn't look the same as he did now.
Yeah, that might have been Flying Brian Jury.
It was Flying Brian Jury.
Yeah.
And it was actually right here in Nashua for Jeff shows.
Yeah.
I used to go to Jeff shows all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I started selling my merchandise. And it was like, why not sell it in your hometown? Why do I always have to drive to Boston or drive here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was perfect for me.
Right.
But, all right. So, some of the favorite matches maybe that you've worked.
Oh,
Even,
man.
cover it.
I'll be honest with you. Every match that I get to step through those ropes and ref for is my favorite match.
That's awesome.
But I've been pretty fortunate. I've got to ref the Young Bucks and the Hardys, their first match ever. Yeah, which that was awesome.
Who was that for?
That was for Northeast Wrestling, Mike Lombardi. He's given me a great opportunity down there, great platform. Some of my biggest matches. I get to travel a little bit with him. That match was awesome.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I've done Cody Rhodes and Kurt Angle had 3 matches. I've done 2 of the 3. And the last one that I just did was in a steel cage.
Wow.
So you want to talk about feeling like it's there?
Yeah.
Walking in a steel cage and looking across, seeing Kurt Angle and Cody Rhodes was something that's just,
Yeah. That's amazing.
yeah, I ref some of Kevin Steen's last indie matches.
Oh, nice.
That was his indie name, Kevin Steen.
Right,
He's
yes.
now Kevin Owens
Right.
on WWE. Yeah, I've worked with Samoa Joe. I did some of his last matches. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Warbird Hansen, his partner Rowe with War Machine. I mean, I'm telling you, we could sit here. I don't know if we have enough time. I'm just kidding.
No, we don't.
I've been
Honestly, because I know how long you've been in the ring with a lot of guys.
I've been a very fortunate guy. I've been to Canada a few times. Probably reffed over 200 matches in Canada alone.
Did you do that with Jason?
Yeah,
Jason?
I did.
Okay,
and I think that helped me a lot at the beginning because when I did the tours up there, I was the only ref.
Oh, okay.
So I used to ref the whole shows.
Right.
And obviously, nothing would happen until the main event. I'd end up getting, bumped around. I'll beat up, if you will. Me and bumping, we're working on it.
Oh, yeah. I know you were attacked by somebody. We're definitely going to talk about that later.
Oh, yeah.
But I do want to say one thing, how you brought up, you did like one of his last matches, Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen.
Yeah.
He wrestled for Tommy Dreamer at House of Hardcore 5. I catered that show.
Okay.
And he wrestled AJ Styles for the IWGP title.
Oh, wow.
Following Mondays when the WWE signed him.
No
I had
kidding.
my grandson with me.
Yeah.
So he's still to this day, whenever we watch it and he sees Kevin Owens, he's like,
he's a great guy.
yeah, he was
He's
very
a great
nice.
guy.
He was nice.
Yeah.
Chris Hero's always been super.
Yep. I've worked with Chris Hero a lot
What
of
a good
times.
guy.
A lot of times. Yeah.
His match, did you ref that match? Were you in the ring with him and Fury and at Beyond
Yes.
in Worcester?
Yes. Yeah, I
was a
reffed
great
that.
match. He was giving me crap because I was cheering for Brian.
Yeah.
He leaned down and I can't say what he said to me.
Oh, I understand. You don't have to tell me.
But he's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to see him back in NXT.
Yeah, that was a surprise because one of the shows that I reffed, it was the last show that Kimberly, she was getting a send-off. And I think that's when they were trying to keep the Chris Hero thing a little bit quieter than maybe, you know what I mean? Because he was actually going too. Wow. So I didn't know I actually reffed his last match.
That's amazing because he is unbelievable. And I never understood it though. Here's a guy that got in unbelievable shape compared to when he first started wrestling and stuff. And then they wanted him to get in better shape.
Yeah.
And then he left. And then they brought him back. I never thought they were going to bring him back. I'm so happy they did.
Yeah.
Because he earned it. He's unbelievable.
He's a technician. He's probably one of the best wrestlers out there.
I think so, too.
And he has the mind. And he used to always, I always used to sit with him, get feedback from him, pick his brain, ask him questions. And, when it gets to the point where you're working with someone, like, they come up to you at a show, hey, Kev, how you doing? That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
That's pretty cool.
Definitely. I know I want to bring up real quick, you might know exactly the address and all that. Pat's got a show coming up, UFO Wrestling.
Yep.
April Vacation. It's this Wednesday.
The Malden Irish American Club.
April 19th.
Yep, in Malden.
Yeah.
It's on, I believe, Chestnut Street. I'm not exactly sure of the exact address. I apologize
That's
for
on
that.
7 o'clock bell time?
7 o'clock bell time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll be there. He'll be there.
I'll be there.
Come say hi.
Absolutely.
No doubt. All right. So let's see. We play a name game, but is there any other companies you want to talk about that you've worked for?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I've been very
Let's do that
fortunate. My current companies I work for that I have regular monthly bookings at are Chaotic Wrestling, Northeast Wrestling, XWA Wrestling, Beyond Wrestling, and now that Lucky Pro started back up, I'm with them. Nice. But I have worked for Chikara numerous times. I've worked for CZW. I actually did the CZW tag title match when they did a show in Providence with Beyond.
Okay.
I did that. I've worked for FSW. That was a show that Jose Perez, a company Jose Perez used to run. That was one of my second or third matches at that show.
Really?
Yeah. And then again, CZW, Top Rope. I worked for Top Rope. For a while, I worked for them for a good few years. I think it was 2 or 3 years in a row I got to raise the Kowalski Cup winner. Nice. Yeah, which was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm a pretty lucky guy. It's all those promoters, from Chaotic, Jamie at Chaotic and Adult, thank you. NAW, Mike Lombardi, thank you. Beyond, Denver, Colorado, thank you. Lucky Pro, Chris and thank you.
You're welcome. You're gonna get sick of me because you're gonna see me 3 times this week because I'm selling my stuff.
Bring some
at
food.
Lucky Pro.
Bring some food.
Unfortunately, there's no food on these shows. But real quick, you just was saying when you said adult. I don't know if you know this, but I've known Mark since he actually was on the show. He told since the late '80s. We used to work at Pizza Hut together back when
no kidding.
We were much younger.
What a great guy.
I love him.
Another great guy.
He's a super guy.
Yep.
And it was so weird, like how he got involved when he told the story here. He just was as a fan.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he just started helping him and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
That's how I got booked for Chaotic. I started out going to the Bell Time Club that Jason Rumble and Bo Douglas ran. Bo Douglas was my day-to-day trainer. Great guy.
Yeah, I love Bo.
Taught me all the fundamentals. Taught me everything that I needed to know to go out in the real world, as we say, and know what I'm doing, so to speak. And then from there, I transferred over to New England Pro Wrestling Academy with Brian Fury, who I train with now.
Right. You're there all the time.
Yeah, I mean, the only way to get better is to work at it, and I go there. I try to get there at least twice a week. It's the only way to get better. Right. It's the only way.
That's awesome. It's great to see, and Brian's doing such great things. It's sad that he's not wrestling anymore, but he's still got his foot in the game by training these kids, and he's got some good kids coming
He's got a lot of the next up-and-coming stars coming around.
Why don't we start talking about him? We'll do the name game, all right?
Absolutely.
Well, Brian, you've already said a few nice things about Brian. We know Brian's a great guy.
Sure.
Warbeard Hanson.
Another great guy. He's a guy that if Fury's not there and Warbeard's in there, he's the guy I go to for advice and whatnot. And he always takes the time to help me out. Great guy. And I'm so happy for him on his IWGP Tag Championship with Rowe. They deserve it. They work so hard. And just real quick, in my humble opinion, I think Brian Fury is the best trainer out there right now. And I'm going to tell you why. He breaks it down so simple that if you don't understand it, he explains it to you over and over and over until you get it.
Nice.
Yeah, and I just wanted to make sure I said that.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you said that. Though certainly we were talking about the younger kids. I want to get into some of these guys.
Sure.
Christian Casanova, kid that's like really breaking out.
Yeah, he's Christian's a good friend of mine. I reffed his first match. He's doing very well right now. Doing very well in Chaotic. He has a new stable, if you will. I just reffed for him actually this weekend against MJF.
Maxwell Jacob Feinstein.
Yep.
Rob, what's up, buddy? That's your nephew.
That was a great match.
I've only seen him wrestle once, and he really impressed me. Maxwell, I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
You give him a microphone, that's money. That's money. And Christian, keep your eyes on him.
Oh, no doubt.
Keep your eye on him.
No doubt about it. I don't want to overshadow by saying anything about MJF, but Christian is unbelievable. My grandson loves him. Loves him.
He's good.
How about another kid that's really breaking out? Oh, real quick before that, too. Todd, how you doing in Scotland over there? He was posting pictures today. Right now, they're over in Scotland.
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
He is.
I love it.
Yep, he was over in Japan for a while, came home. I did a show with him last Wednesday up at Chunky's. He actually was leaving from that show, going to the airport in the morning, going over to Scotland. So what's up, Todd?
Wow, nice. Well, seeing that we're talking about guys that are going overseas and all around, Flip Gordon. He'll be on this show, sitting right there, May 1st.
Yeah, Flip Gordon, and he's another one. I don't know how long he'll be around for before somebody picks him up. He's got a great gymnastic background. There's not much he can't do. He's still kind of new, so to speak.
Right.
So I think, you're only going to see great things from him.
I agree. Speaking about that, too, about guys that may not be around forever, around here at least, Dijak.
Dijak.
Wow.
Dijak. They don't get much better.
No.
They don't.
Is he 6'7", right? Or 6'6"?
One
of the other.
One of those.
He's just
He's
a
up
big
there.
boy.
Yeah, I mean, when we travel together, which I'm fortunate enough to travel with him a lot. I was with him this weekend, and when he's in my little Toyota, he does his best. You know what I mean? But and I'll be honest with you, I work with a lot of people, and I'm just gonna go out and say it. Mike Bennett and Dijak are probably two of my favorite people. Nothing against anybody else. I ref probably 98% of Dijak's matches at Beyond, and they're just intense. I mean, we blew the roof off of NEW in Bethany, Connecticut this weekend with him and Flip. The match was just, 5-star, and it was up here. It was insane.
His match against Brian Cage in Somerville, I think, right?
Yeah.
With Beyond was unbelievable. What a great match.
I'll be honest with you, any match the guy's in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Any match he's in.
He's an incredible talent. I don't think he'll be around forever.
And I'm just going to throw this out there, and this is for Dijak. Boy, I really wish this was a nice, cold, icy. he knows what I mean.
He knows, all right. All right, so I have to ask. I've been waiting to ask you about this because I wasn't there that night. Mm-hmm. But JT Dunn attacked you.
Yeah. That started in Somerville, I believe. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if he likes beating up referees because we can't hit him back or anything like that. But you never know. Maybe one of these times he hits me. Maybe I just won't sit there anymore. You know what I mean? But I'm a referee. I do my job.
Right.
And he is one of the best around.
Absolutely.
He is. And I don't understand. I don't know if he has an issue with stripes or something like that. But
He has a problem with authority.
I think you might be right on that.
He does.
He's knocked me out 4 or 5 times with that thing. But
Really?
Yeah,
See,
but
I
my
thought
other.
it was that one time. See
Oh
that?
no, it's been quite a few. I'm lucky. I get off easy. My other buddy that I ref with, Tony.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say his name wrong, so I'll say Tony P.
Yeah.
From Beyond. I work with him at Beyond. He's over at Top Rope, and he's beat him up way worse than me. So
Really?
yeah, it gets to the point where when I have his match, if you watch me ref for him, I ref a little bit different for him than everybody else because I'm on my toes because that death by elbow, that comes out of left field. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
At the Beyond show, all I did is get in the ring.
Right.
And he cut a promo, and I don't know what I did. He just turned around, and that was it for me.
Wow.
You know?
I'll tell you, though, we talked off here. That kid is unbelievable. And his finishing maneuver, the death by elbow, is such a believable move, though. Like, for a guy his size to use, it's the perfect move. Perfect move for him to use.
Let me tell you, it's very believable.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Absolutely. A hell of a talent. I love watching JT wrestle. I don't want to see him beat up you, though.
Yeah,
That's
thank
true.
you. Yeah, well, me either.
Well, how about a guy, we're going to get off the wrestlers right now. We'll have a former guest of mine, and when Derek was on the show, Rich Palladino.
Rich Palladino.
Voice of New England.
Absolutely. He is the best unsigned ring announcer out there.
No doubt.
I don't understand why somebody hasn't picked him up. He's a great guy, and I'll just go right out and say it. He has a lot to do with why I'm at Chaotic Wrestling. And just to be honest with you, Brian Malonis has a lot to do with that too.
Another good guy.
Yeah, another great guy. But those two guys are a lot of the reason why I'm at Chaotic Wrestling.
Did you see when Rich went down to Orlando? He started working. He wasn't even playing title match wrestling. Scooped them up for his interviews.
They were smart.
And those interviews were really
smart.
good. I've watched almost all of them.
Yeah.
Love them all.
I don't know if, just real quick, I don't know if you ever seen what Brian Fury used to do every time he'd come in the ring with Rich Palladino. He'd go over.
Oh, yeah.
He'd come over and straighten out his bow tie. So I figured, Fury's retired, let's keep it going. So I got in the ring and I went to touch his bow tie. I can't use the words. And Rich and I are like best friends,
Right.
you know. He says, whoa, that's a Fury thing. So this Saturday night at NEW, the ring announcer there, Vince Berry, who's very good himself, I went up to him and I go, look, we're going to start a new thing. I'm going to fix your tie every show.
Nice.
So,
That's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Now, that's what you said, NEW?
Yeah, Northeast Wrestling.
Yeah, that's O'Brien's, right?
Mike O'Brien, yeah.
Me and Josiah went to the one they had last summer. No, actually, it was 2 summers ago, I think, because, my brother passed away. We actually went to go visit my brother. It was the last time that I knew my grandson was going to see him. So we went over to see him, and then we went to that show at the La Lacha Park.
Oh, yeah.
The one with Samoa Joe was there.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks were there.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a show.
Yeah, absolutely.
He puts on great shows.
Yeah, every show, absolutely.
We brought him up real quick earlier. Mark Beaudry, adult.
He's just a great guy. I don't think people understand what he does behind the scenes and stuff. I mean, he's one of the owners of the company, and every show he's at, he's the one that's setting up the entrance areas. He's the one making sure everything is running the way it's supposed to run. He oversees everything, makes sure the ring crew's getting everything on time. And he makes sure, he's one of the main ones that's responsible to make sure that when those doors open up, we're ready to go. Because there's one thing about Chaotic Wrestling. Their shows are usually Friday nights, and they usually start at 8 o'clock. Every Chaotic show starts at 7:59. They're very professionally
Nice.
run.
They put on some great shows. Like I said,
Absolutely.
Friday nights are so hard for me. I used to work third shift,
Yep.
so I never went to shows just because I like to kind of like, you work for a shift, you sleep, you get up, you start at 7, right? You
Right.
get up at 5:45, you know what I mean? So
Right.
that's how I lived when I did third shift,
Yep.
But, Fridays are tough for me to go. But we did actually get to go to the one in Woburn where it was Brian's final fight.
Nice.
We got to
yeah.
go to that.
I was lucky. Out of a dozen of Fury's final fights, I think I got, I don't know, I got 7 or 8 of them. I got to the point where other refs were calling me like, "You can come to the show, but you ain't having this match." You know why? Because there's a lot of guys. Just to get off track for a second.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
There's a lot of guys with guys like Fury, guys like Dijak, guys like Warbeard, guys like Tommaso, Biff, Bennett.
Right.
Taven, Vinny, TK, I could just go on and on and
Oh,
on.
awesome.
Everybody,
by the way.
refs all get super nervous working for those guys. Don't get me wrong, I get nervous because when you're done getting nervous, maybe it's time to go home. But I'm more comfortable with those guys than I am with anybody else.
Right.
You know, because they communicate, and it's just a great experience.
Every one of those guys, and the Kingdom is killing it in Ring of
Yeah,
Honor right
absolutely.
now. Hopefully, TK get better soon. You
Yeah,
know,
he'll be
Seriously.
all right. You know, don't you worry about him. That
Good,
sassy horse,
good.
he'll get back up on that saddle.
Good, because that kid's an incredible talent. Vinny too.
Vinny,
We all
yeah.
know how good Taven is.
Yeah.
You know, but these two guys are coming up now,
Absolutely.
and Vinny's got this with that ink standing. He's a very creative kid.
Let me tell you something.
Unbelievable.
I ref for him. You know that thing that he says he does whatever he wants?
Yeah.
He's kind of not kidding on that.
Really?
He's a handful of ref for him. But I have some, you know what, I'll tell you, I've done a handful of matches with him and Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
And the last one that we did.
That was in NEW, I know, right?
Yeah, the last one that we did, it was down in, I want to say, Port Jarvis, New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, there's times in wrestling when you have moments in a ring. And we had a moment in there, the three of us, and it was awesome. Just awesome. So
great.
thank you, Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny's hell of a talent, and I love watching what they're doing in Ring of Honor right now. I want to talk about some referees. You brought up Tony
Sure.
earlier, Tony Stevens in Chaotic,
Yep.
who also works in Lucky Pro too.
Yep.
Tony's a nice guy. I know him just a little bit. I always like Tony. What about Tony?
Tony's good. I work with him. Like I said, he's a senior ref at Chaotic. I want to say he's a general manager at Lucky Pro.
Yes.
And he does put the stripes on if need be, so to speak. We work great together. It's funny, we have a little, hope it's okay, Tony. We have a little thing between us. He calls me Hebner, I call him Kyoto. That's just our little thing. Yeah, I get to work with some great refs.
Right.
And I'm a lucky guy because I work with some refs that have been around a lot longer than I have, and I can pick their brains and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
So you call him Kyoto?
Yeah.
Okay. And he calls you Hebner.
Yeah.
Even though you look like Miles Lane.
Yes.
You guys don't know who Miles Lane and look up. Yeah. Get into boxing a little bit, and he looks He does. He looks just like him.
And I always get Christopher Daniels.
Oh yeah, that you. Well, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you. Wow. Yeah. You really do.
I know.
That's amazing. I seen a thing on Facebook today how he was saying how the WWE won't sign him, and a shame on them because that guy is so talented.
Yeah. I want to say he's a Ring of Honor champ.
He is right now, and I was so happy when he
Yeah,
won.
so
I was in
was I.
Lowell when Joe won the NXT title.
Really?
And you could have. I thought the roof was going to come off the building. It was unbelievable because nobody expected it because it was a house show.
Right.
Nobody
And
expected
that's why it happened.
Yeah. And when Tommaso came out,
Yeah.
the only thing that bummed us out was that he wrestled Biff.
Yeah.
Which was a great match, but I
Yeah.
wanted them both to,
Sure.
go over it. Both.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you, Biff's killing it now too. I'm sorry, Oni.
Yeah.
Oni Lorcan,
Yep. Yep.
another talent.
He just worked Drew McIntyre.
Did he?
Yeah.
Nice. It's nice to see Drew coming back too.
Drew's a
He's
great
a talented
guy.
guy.
He is. I got to meet him and interact with him when at a Beyond show, and we were teaming up with Evolve. We were doing a show with Evolve, and he was on the Evolve show. So I just went in the back, and I saw him, and he was by himself. So I said to myself, I'm going to take the time, introduce myself. Stopped what he was doing, talked to me, asked me how long I've been working, stuff like that. Great guy.
He's from Scotland, right?
I believe so. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's like 6'5".
I was
Something like
amazed.
that.
I was amazed at how big he was.
Well, for the longest time, he was like Vince thought he was gonna, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
take over the WWE. And guess what? He still might
You
because
never
he's
know.
back.
Yeah.
And he's really talented. I mean, it really showed too when they let him go.
Yeah.
And he went to the independents again.
Yeah.
He's like you said for Evolve and other companies, and he just killed it
Everywhere he went. I think he did it. That's why he's back.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Hero.
Right.
Cassius Ohno.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, one more ref I want to ask you about.
Sure.
Todd Sinclair, who I think is a great ref also.
He's probably the best independent ref out there.
Don't sell yourself short, Kev.
Well,
seriously.
Thank you.
Just saying, he's great too. He's great though. You're right.
Yeah, he is. He's one of the best, and I watch him a lot, and I learn from him.
Right.
I have him on here if I need him. I've asked him to come down to the school. He's like, all you have to do is remind me. So I said, well, you got to get somebody to remind me to remind you. But he'll come down if I ask him to. Great guy. Great guy.
I know where he'll be right now. I know where he is. He's in front of the TV watching the Bruins.
Absolutely.
He's a huge Bruins fan. Right? I know that's where you are, Todd. But even though I don't know you very well at all, I pretty much just know who you are, and you're a great rep.
Absolutely.
I'd like to talk about a couple of promoters real quick.
Sure.
You worked for NECW a couple of times.
I worked for them a few times.
Yeah, Sheldon Goldberg.
Sheldon Goldberg. They were one of the companies that I wanted to work for when I first started.
Right.
And Sheldon, didn't think I was ready and whatnot. That's fine. He's the promoter. He owns the company. But I have worked for them a few times, yeah. I have some good friends that work over there. Paul Richards helped me a lot, give me some advice as far as a referee and stuff like that, yeah.
That's very good. And a mutual friend of ours, Pat Dillon.
Pat Dillon. Pat is my go-to guy. Pat's the guy I call if I need advice. He's been around a while. Whatever the situation is, we're actually friends outside of wrestling. We both have kids. Pat, it's just not enough to say it, but he's a great guy.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
And
He's
we'll
helped
see
me
him
a lot.
Wednesday.
Yeah, he's helped me a lot in wrestling. Like I said, he gives me good advice. Always leads me down the right road.
That's awesome. Pat's been a two-time guest on this show.
Great
and
guy.
believe me, the first one, I didn't have a guest.
He looks great too, by the way.
Oh, that's so. I'm glad you said that because, when we had him on the second time, Derek did this thing who's this guy? He looks familiar.
Well, it's funny
amazing.
because I hadn't seen him in a while, and I brought my son to an NECW outdoor show at the Brockton Fair, and I literally walked by him. Walked by him. And I said to Bo Douglas, I says, "Where's Pat?" He goes, "He's right there." And I'm like, "Oh, wow."
It's amazing.
Yeah.
He's really, he's done a great job.
Absolutely.
Great job. I know a kid from Lowell, this kid Jamie that I know, and he dropped, 180 pounds.
Yeah, nice.
He looks phenomenal, and he says it all the time, he had diabetes and everything. Now, nothing.
Right.
Doesn't have, it's gone. It's amazing. And it takes a lot to keep it that way.
Sure.
Pat's doing a great job.
He is, yeah.
So is my buddy
And I'm
Jamie.
sure it's a daily struggle, if you will.
Absolutely, of course, yeah. And I love what he's posting when he's going up to Castle Island. I lived in Southie for 5 years, and I didn't know Pat then.
Oh, okay.
But I loved it down
Yeah.
there. South Boston
It's
is
just peaceful. Peaceful.
It's awesome. Loved it down there. All right, we'll get back into the wrestlers. How about Slick Wagner Brown?
Slick Wagner Brown. He's another one that he's always had an ear to help me. Always takes the time if I ask him for feedback. Anytime I ref for somebody of his caliber, we go back, we shake hands, and I always say, "Any feedback?" Always. It's not that I'm not confident in my ability. It's just that when you get to work with somebody like that, they might see something small that they can help you with. And he always gives me the time of day. And nobody laughs more than Slick Wagner Brown.
Nice.
The guy's the happiest guy.
He actually, how you were saying, one of your favorite. Has been one of my favorite wrestlers since the first time I saw him. I love Slick.
Yeah.
Awesome. In the
Again,
ring,
he's
man.
another one that he's great. I don't get to work with him a lot, unfortunately. But I was with him this weekend at NECW. I didn't get to work with him, but I was actually the bell keeper.
Oh, nice. There you go.
I was actually the bell keeper.
Cool. I
That's
like
okay.
my youngest daughter. She doesn't go to wrestling anymore with me because I'm too loud. Even like you were saying how you vote, but I'm more like just cheering guys. I'll yell at the heel and stuff. I'm not that bad, but she won't go with me now because you're just too loud. Dad, because she's 15.
Yeah. I
You know,
used to
15 going on 23.
I used to get into it with Sean Gorman all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you a real quick story. The first time Gorman walked by me in the locker room, he literally walked by me, stopped, backstepped, looked at me, said, "Aren't you on the wrong side of the guardrail, kid?" I said, "No, actually, I'm on the right side now. I'm training, to be a referee." He's like, "Oh, okay." nice to meet you, and walked away.
Listen, him and DC
Yeah,
together, even by themselves,
yeah.
hated. I mean, people love to hate him.
That was real heat.
Right.
That
Oh, yeah.
was real heat. Just real quick to touch on Dave. God rest his soul. A lot of people don't know this, but I ended up taking him to the gym. We went to the gym for probably 3 or 4 months, before everything, and it was a great guy. And how I met DC, you'll laugh at this. It was a training at the Belltime Club, and they were trying to teach me how to bump. Still trying to learn, I know. And they were telling me you got to take a flat back bump, and he was actually sitting down. I didn't know who he was. I kind of knew who he was, so to speak. So he gets in the ring, he says, "Stripes, let me tell you something. refs don't bump, they crumble. I said, if I punch you in the face and you take a back bump, I'm going to pick you up, punch you in the face again until you crumble. Good luck, kid. That's how I met DC Dillinger.
And he wasn't kidding either. Though.
No.
No. I told the story on here one time that I was afraid of him. Like, I'd see him around. Honestly, and George told me, he goes, Leo, trust me. Because I said, I didn't think he liked me. Right?
That's just the appearance.
And well, George said, he goes, trust me, if he didn't like you, you would have known.
Now, George Carroll, that's another guy. That's another great guy.
What great things happening for him right now. I love George.
And I'm glad they are. And he's another guy. Again, he's another guy. Again, I'm a lucky guy.
Yeah, I mean,
he's another guy that's always been there to give me advice, help me. You know, I talked to him. I just saw him at Chaotic, and I said, you know, if you need a ref for New Japan, I was kind of joking.
Right.
And he turned around and he goes, okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Because you never know.
That's right.
You know, I always do this thing Father Time because I am older than most refs. But you know what? You never know.
You don't. You never know. And George is a great guy. Actually, we had talked. We're going to eventually, most likely, hopefully he will bring Sean with them too.
Good.
We're going to do a show all about DC.
Good.
I want to bring his friends on here.
Good.
And because he earned that. He deserves it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
The guy was one of the greatest talents in this area. And again, hated, real heat.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
and one of his buddies, I don't know if you know Ryan Matthews.
Oh, I know Ryan.
Yeah, well, Matty
Almeida.
Yeah, he's actually a great guy. Actually, he's a good friend of mine. And when we saw each other at the at the UFO show, I hadn't seen him in a while. He came over, we always hug, and he says, look, let's try to message each other every week. We still haven't, but I'm going to send him a message. He's a great guy.
I'm almost positive it was him in Evan 6 when he was on. He told me that he thinks it was him. I seen Evan lay him out like it. I mean, honestly, like, and I know how wrestling works.
Sure,
okay?
sure.
I thought he killed him.
Well,
I really did.
That was back in the NACW days, right? Well, Evan was the enforcer back then. He was the guy that went out and did those.
I'm telling you, man. I thought he killed him.
Yeah.
I really did. And then I saw him, Matty, afterwards, and said, "Oh my."
Yeah.
I thought he killed you.
Mm-hmm.
But great guys. All those guys are great guys.
Yeah.
And seeing where so we talked about Sean, George. How about Shitty Eddie? I shouldn't call him that because I'm not privy to that. Eddie Edwards.
He's another one. He's a great guy. I've had a lot of great experiences working with him. I've had matches where, you know, if there's feedback, he gives it to me and I learn from it. Just a great guy. And I'm so happy for absolutely. And I'm happy for him and his wife.
Yeah.
She's actually one of the she's somebody you don't want to upset.
Oh, I believe
that. She'll
she'll kick your butt. That's for sure. And what a talent.
And the thing, Eddie's he's a class act. I don't know how much more I can say. He's a class act.
Great things happen to great people.
Absolutely.
Seeing that we went and talked about women.
Yep.
And Alexis, how about we go with Davian?
She's up and coming. Yeah, she's another one. She's
Yeah.
Yeah, she's another one. You'll be seeing big things coming out.
I think so.
Just stay tuned on her. She hasn't even got. Still in second gear. She hasn't even got fully rolling yet.
It was weird because I didn't know. At one time I didn't know she went to Japan. I had no idea. And then when I found that out, I'm like, no wonder why she's. You know what I mean? How good she's doing.
And what I mean by she's still in second gear, I'm saying she's doing great things. But she's that ball's just getting rolling.
Yeah, because she's only been wrestling 4 years, maybe.
Something like that. She's still young, so.
And seeing we talked earlier about Christian Casanova, how about the person that helped turn him heel? Mistress Belmont.
Kathy is just another one. She's great. She's another one. She's a class act. She's another one I wouldn't want to upset. Don't let that smile fool you.
Right.
When that bell rings, man, you know. And Oof.
She is a hell of a talent.
She is.
I want to get into something now where I want to talk about somebody else. He was on this show, and I wasn't able to put his show out last time. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, but Todd Sopel.
Sure.
I love Todd. I think he's a great guy, and I'm going to have him on again.
Sure.
I just couldn't.
No, I understand.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do, actually.
And he's a great guy.
I
just couldn't.
I worked for him a couple times when I started. I worked with him about a year ago. I had a Saturday night off. I think it might have been one of the only times that I actually talked to Fury on the phone because we usually text or
Yeah.
at class or whatever. And I get a call, and he goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm watching TV." He goes, "Well, grab your bag and get up here. We need a ref." Click, okay. Went up, ref.
The Peabody, right?
Yeah, yeah, and worked at the McCarthy Elementary
Yeah,
School,
yeah,
I
yeah,
want to say.
yep.
Yep.
That's where he runs all his shows,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Todd's a great guy. I love Todd. I really do. And he will be on again. Matter of fact, I think tonight when I go home, I'm going to contact him and try to set up another date for him.
Good.
Because he's really, really good guy. We talked about APW earlier.
Yep.
And you did talk about how you ref their match. How about Big Woody, another guy who's coming up again?
Yeah.
He might even be next week, as a matter of fact.
Good. Big Woody's a guy, like I said, they helped me from the beginning. I've always stayed in contact with him. Just another good guy, another wealth of knowledge. And there's no flies on Woody. The one thing about Woody is he lets you know how he feels about you.
Right.
And in a professional way. And he's not afraid to sit you down and, you know.
Well, I'll tell you a question I'm going to ask him next week, because afterwards, I didn't know this, but Derek said he didn't think Big Woody likes him. So I'm going to ask Big Woody right on the spot.
I wouldn't be, he'll tell you.
But Joe Moakley, he was coming on the show, and I had to cancel him, so I set up another date. He's coming on soon.
Good.
What about Joe?
Joe's another one. Joe gave me my start. Him and Woody were the two guys that put me in the ring with them on their street fight, and that's where it all started. And it was funny because my anniversary was coming up. It's in November every year, and I had to message him. I go, "Hey, is it 4 years or is it 5 years?" I go, because you lose track.
Right.
That's why now I write everything down. I
Yep.
write all my matches down,
Right.
all my shows down, because you just,
Yeah.
so much. And he's just a good guy. I mean, they gave me my start.
See, I've never met Joe, and
Joe's
I'm really looking forward to it.
Joe's a good guy. I mean, he copied my haircut and stuff.
yeah.
And I think before it's all said and done, I think I'm gonna go back up to Newbury, and I think I'm gonna challenge Joe to a street fight
Nice.
before it's
Heard
all,
that here.
Before it's all said and done.
I think Joe watches the show, so.
Well, we'll see if Joe wants to accept it.
All right. Well, when I said Big Woody's coming on, he's not coming alone. Supposedly, he's bringing the Knuckle Busters with him.
Well,
And Burley's been on the show.
I hope you got more chairs.
I got bigger chairs. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Woody's already been on the show.
No,
we
I
have a
mean-
different set.
I mean, Bugsy.
Oh, yeah, Bugsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never met Bugsy. I've seen him,
Bugsy.
but I've never met him.
Yeah, Bugsy's
But Bare Knuckle Burley's been on the show.
Bare Knuckle
Great
Burley.
guy.
He's another one. You know.
I want to talk a little bit about some tag teams.
Sure.
But before we get that, how about Chase Del Monte? A guy that says he's from Lowell, but I know he's not.
Yeah.
I'm from Lowell.
Chase Del Monte. Chase Del Monte. Great guy.
Great worker.
Great worker. I work with him a lot. I'm not sure if he likes me in the ring. He's a handful to ref for.
Right. Oh, yeah.
He's the
He
most
is.
vocal guy. But at the end of the day, it's a great guy right there.
Definitely. Top talent. We'll have to bring these guys up next because they're part of the Mill City Hooligans.
Best tag team around.
The Logan
They are
brothers.
simply the best tag team around.
My oldest daughter went to school with Matt.
Really?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is they are a great tag team.
Yep.
They are. And you know what? I'm going to throw this out there right now.
Okay.
I want to see them work the Hit Squad.
Oh, you kid, that would be incredible.
And I've said this before, and I've said it, I want to see them because I had said for a while that I want to see EYFBO work the Logan Brothers. And I kept saying it and saying it. And the next thing you know, hey, we're bringing the EYFBO.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I wonder who thought of that.
Right?
Those are great guys.
Those
and I'll
guys
tell
are
you
fantastic,
I'll
too.
tell you off air what their initials stand for.
I already know. I asked them.
Oh, okay.
Because I met them, right?
Yeah.
And I asked Mike.
Yeah.
I asked him, and
Yeah.
he told me.
I actually love those guys.
They're great
Yeah,
guys.
they
Angel,
are.
they treated me and my grandson very nice.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when I went over to buy a shirt. I was waiting for them to come in with the black shirts.
Yeah.
With all of them on there, Pinky, Chris, and everything.
Sure.
And as we walked over there, because of Facebook, not because I'm anybody special, but Mike's like, "Hey, Leo, what's up?" My grandson's like, "So when we walked away after I bought the shirt, he knows your name." I'm like, "Buddy, relax. It's
Yeah.
because of Facebook."
Sure.
So then we went upstairs, and we're at Beyond in Somerville, and Christian Casanova came up. So I said, "Picture?" He's like, "Yeah, come on over." So as we're walking over, he says, "Hi, Jai," to my grandson. My grandson's like, "How's he know my?"
Yeah.
I told you, buddy, Facebook. I talk about you all the time. You know what I
Right,
mean? I love
right.
you, so I'm talking about. They know who you are.
Right.
But the Hit Squad and the Logans would be incredible.
Absolutely.
Maybe Denver, Colorado could get that going, man, and beyond, because I'll tell you, that would be incredible.
Either that or Chaotic Wrestling could bring them in when they're in town. So one of you guys, book that, please. Thank you.
Danny and Steve are incredible talents.
Great guys.
And they're really nice.
They're one of my favorite tag teams at Beyond.
They've been mine for a long time.
Yep, absolutely.
Jersey All Pro, they came up to Mass. I don't know if you remember when they came up a couple years ago.
I do.
Hanson got me in there with Fat Frank. I catered to both those shows when they came
up. Oh,
out.
no kidding.
And I've been a big fan. I've talked about Dan and Steve on this show a lot.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I went up to, matter of fact, to get a picture with him, and I went to go shake his hand. He's like, he gives me a hug.
Nice.
You know? I kind of felt a little weird because, I'm not in the business. I'm around the business.
That's when you know you get along with someone good, because there's a lot of workers that I go up to at shows. When I see them, there's not even a hand extended. It's just a hug.
Yeah, there's just a lot of great guys in this
called the
business.
brotherhood, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
The brotherhood still exists. I firmly believe that.
How about a tag team that I don't think they're teaming anymore in UFO? Picture Perfect. Vern Vicalo and Dan Terry.
That's a tag team that they had a little run going, and I think they both realized that maybe, I think Dan's in another tag team now, actually.
Oh, is he?
I think so, yeah. And tag teams are tough, man.
Yeah.
And they're both good workers.
Right. They're both good single workers.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Dan, he's the fitness man.
Yep.
So yeah, they're both good.
Yeah.
Whatever they do, tags or singles, they're both good. And Vern's a great guy, and Dan's a great guy.
Yeah, they are. They've both been on the show.
Yeah, I broke in with Dan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. You know, a tag team that's really impressed me. I've only seen them work twice, but I've been trying to catch their matches on YouTube. Adrenaline Rush. Keith Youngblood and Daniel Evans.
Yeah, that's
man.
they're another one that I like those guys. They're
you
good.
see them down at XWA, right?
I see
all the time.
more. They're in NEW, Northeast Wrestling. They're there too. They're great guys, and again, they're just getting out of the parking lot.
Right.
They're just getting the ball rolling, and the ball's rolling good now. You got the Keith is the taller guy, more lean guy, does more of the high flying. Right. Then you got Dan with the death punch, and they can be a handful to ref for too.
Oh yeah. The first LPW show I went to, I actually met Keith's father outside.
Yeah.
And we were talking to him. His dad's a great guy.
Yeah, they can be a handful to ref for.
Yeah. No, you talked about Jason Rumble earlier.
Yep.
When you first met Jason and all that, was he still tag teaming with Damon?
Absolutely.
As the Crown Jewels?
Absolutely.
That tag team was unreal, man.
Yeah.
I should say unreal. Great tag
team.
They were fantastic.
It's funny, at NECW, they used to come on, they used to have that spray thing that they used to have. And you know what? Every single show, Rumble would walk by me. He'd find me, kind of come over and give me some heat, you know what I mean?
With Tony Ulysses.
Oh, my God, yeah. Another great guy. Another great guy. Another great guy.
I thought the Tony Rumble show.
Yeah, another great guy. Tony Ulysses is a great guy. I had a little locker room issue one time, and he was the guy that I went to.
Nice. Nice. I got a couple questions that I like to ask, and it's like shooting questions. You can answer it, or you can pass on it if you like. Have you ever been in the ring when someone shot on somebody?
Wrestling is wrestling,
right?
And a lot of these workers are college wrestlers. Some of these guys are trained in catch and can. Well, I don't know about trained in catch and can. There's guys that do know it and train it, whatever. But I'm not sure. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. Have you seen any? You don't even have to say who the people are, but have you ever seen a locker room fight?
Funny you say that.
You don't have to bring. You don't have to say the names if you don't want to. That's fine.
Yeah, I saw one. I've only seen one.
Was it bad?
No, not really.
Good.
No, the guy actually, he struck a button because he called the other guy an old man. Oh. And they're two good guys. They're two guys that I know right now, and I work with one of them more than the other, but they're both great guys.
Right.
Yeah. Now, locker room is that's where the boys police their business and stuff like that. But, have I seen arguments?
Right. That's cool. I want to get back to the name game because you brought up Brian Malonis earlier, who's one of the best big men around. Mm-hmm. And but there's a kid coming up who's
I think I know who you're talking about.
Ace Romero.
I just did a three-way.
Wow.
I just did a three-way match with Ace Romero, Brian Malonis, and Warbeard Hansen at Chunky's.
All three at the same. They were last
at
Wednesday.
Chunky's, yeah.
Now I'm killing myself.
Let me tell you something.
I didn't go.
You need a bigger ring.
Wow.
You need a bigger ring.
That kid he's coming along.
Yeah, he's Ace Romero. Yeah, he's working. I want to say he's working.
We all know Brian is up.
Yeah, Ace Romero, I want to say he's working Michael Elgin in a few weeks up at
Limitless.
Limitless,
And
yep.
he also's been working for CZW too.
Yep.
Now, did you drive down with him for that?
No, I haven't been down to CDW in a while.
Okay.
Hopefully I can get back there.
Yeah.
You know.
But Ace is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Great big man.
Young kid too.
Yeah.
Young kid.
Big kid. How about we'll go back to the promoters. You're going to be down Saturday. I'll be there too. Lucky Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
Chris Sullivan.
Great guy.
I love
Great
Chris.
guy.
I've known Chris a long time.
You know, there was last year. There was talks of me possibly retiring due to some medical stuff or whatnot, which is all taken care of. And I've always wanted to do a show called Wrestle Jam. I just always wanted to do it.
Right.
And like I said, I was pretty sure I was leaving. So I actually emailed him. I explained my situation to him. I was as honest can be. And he said, "Go have a good time." And I said, I don't want to lose my spot. He said, "You're not going to lose your spot. Go have a good time."
That's awesome.
That's a class.
Chris is a great. I met Chris when I started doing the Ring of Honor shows, catering back in the day.
Great guy.
His partner, Jim Burgoyne.
Same thing.
Jim, nice guy.
Same
big
thing.
guy too.
Yeah, he is.
He's bigger than some of the wrestlers when he's arguing with them in the ring.
He gets more heat from those workers, man, over there. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have so Saturday night?
Yep.
Lucky Pro Wrestling. Mm-hmm. Clinton?
Yep.
Clinton, Mass. Do you know the building?
Clinton Elks.
Clinton Elks.
Yep.
Right.
I don't know the exact street it's on.
But it's this Saturday night, and it's the 22nd.
Yep. You can find it on Facebook on the event page. Yep.
Yeah. You definitely check them out, guys. I love going to their shows. Me and Jizea will be there. I'll be with Jizea Wednesday at the UFO show at Malden Irish American Club.
Irish American Club.
7 o'clock bell time. Guys, make sure you're there. It's going to be awesome. Support Pat. Support Jim and Chris. Any other shows? What do you got coming? Do you have anything Friday night?
Friday night is XWA.
Okay. And Thursday too, right?
Yep. They have that Thursday night throwdown.
Yeah.
I don't make it to those a lot because it's a long way away.
Right.
And it's my class night. So, but if he needs me, I've been down there a bunch of times. You know?
If you're looking to be a wrestler and you're in this area, go to Brian's school.
Absolutely. New England Pro Wrestling Academy. You can find them on Facebook. Send them an email. They have fantasy camps probably once or twice a year. You can go watch any class you want for free. If you're an established worker, there's a price to go just train for a day if you'd like. And all I can say is if you always thought about it, go do it.
Right. And he also does that one-day fantasy things too, once a year, right?
Yeah.
And that's in Andover, correct?
Yes. Yep.
That's just not far from Lowell.
Not 100 Belmont Street in Andover, New England Pro Wrestling Academy. Best wrestling school around, in my humble opinion.
And there's a lot of great schools. Like you said, the XWA.
Yep.
There's who else have we met? I met Belltime Club. Slick's got one out in Connecticut.
Yep.
And who's now? Is the XWA? Is that what Bennett is?
Yes.
Okay. So we covered them. All right. Guys, that's it. Kevin, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Definitely. I can't wait. I'll see you this week.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
All right, guys. That's it. Peace.
Have a good night.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.